Hello and welcome to video number 3, must-have pages. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of all the pages. And then we're going to dive deeper so that you understand exactly what they need to look like. The first thing you're going to need is a welcome page. That's the first thing that the visitors and customers will see. Welcome video is preferred if that's possible, but if not, a welcome page is needed. And this is where you're going to introduce yourself, and other people are going to introduce themselves as well. So this is the first impression. Number 2 will be the main product pages. And you can have many pages in this section. Number 3 will be the bonuses. Number 4 will be the training center. 5 will be support. And 6 will be social networking. Now these are at least, so you can have any other pages that you want. Let's talk about the welcome video or welcome page where you can introduce yourself. This page is specifically to welcome your customers. Say thank you very much for buying this product, blah, blah, blah. Here's a quick overview of the members area. So as a video, it would just be so much easier because then you can show people the members area. You can guide them through all the areas so that they know exactly how to use the site effectively. A lot of customers come in usually and they see all the product pages, but they don't really know what to do next. So it's just easier for you to tell people exactly what to do so they know exactly what to do. Makes it life a lot easier for them. And then of course, what I would do is I would ask customers to introduce themselves. If you can get them to take the step to make comments, interact first and foremost, you will be able to create that domino effect. But in order for them to introduce themselves, you've got to start by introducing yourself. So that has to be the first comment. And this is the first step of creating a nice atmosphere that welcomes them to introduce themselves. Yes, that does take some time out of your schedule, but you know what? If this produces great results in the end, why not? And I would say if you can, every few days, reply to all the introductions. Say, hey, so-and-so. Call them out by name. Because most people don't do this. And most people feel like, oh, okay, I don't have time to do this because I got to sell. I got to create a new product. I got to sell that. Well, yes, you may make money on the front end sales, but if somebody comes in and they feel like they're part of a community, then guess what? They may have invested $27, but over the years, over 3, 4, 5 years, if they're part of that community, then they will continually put their money into your business, especially if your business is there to help them. So you obviously want to be there to help them genuinely. If that's the case, that one customer that walks through the door, your profits will be able to grow and increase. So just think of it that way. Think of it as you spending time in this customer's life, and they in turn will become a customer for life. So I'm going to dive into this more on video number 4, and I'll show you exactly what to do. I'm going to show you exactly how to apply what I'm teaching. Well, for now, let's move on to main product pages. You can have as many product pages as you want. The key that I would recommend is that you create pages that break things up into categories or steps. So step number 1, you need to do this. Step number 2, you need to do this. So that way it's clear as to what they need to do. A lot of problems arise when you just dump all your products into one page. What that does is it actually overwhelms the customer. And if they come back later, they start getting buyer's remorse and they begin to think, oh, I just don't have time to do this. So if you can break it up into parts and steps, but don't do too many parts or steps, otherwise it can have the same effect. So having too long of a page with too many product links can actually overwhelm your customers, which will result in refunds. But at the same time, too many steps or too many categories can have the same effect. So you want to have that happy medium in the middle somewhere. Bonuses. Bonuses are always awesome. It's a way to over deliver on your product. But here's what I found that has been tested, and it has been tested to work well. Offer your training as a bonus. If you know that you're going to invest time and money and sweat and blood into your community, then offer that as a bonus. Because if you offer training as an ongoing bonus, then this is actually going to help create an ongoing growth in cohesiveness, where whenever you put up training, you email people, they come to your site, and they keep coming back to your members area, versus a one-time off bonus. Because if you think about it, we've all done this. We've all provided bonuses. Customers have come in, they leave. They never come back. And what good is that? So if you can get them to constantly come back because you're producing ongoing training, whether that might be once a week, once every 2 weeks, or even once a month. I wouldn't recommend once a month, but hey, it still works. If you can get people back to your site as ongoing drip feed content, then that's a plus. And I'll show more about that in the future videos, which actually brings us to the training center. Training should surround questions that you've received, which I'll talk about more on this later in the training video, specifically on this section. But training is just easier to create and better almost, because if somebody asks a question, most likely there are other people that are in the same boat that are not asking the questions, that are afraid to ask, or they just don't have time to ask. Guess what? You answer these questions, you've pretty much answered more people's questions. But not only that, what happens here is this. This is where the magic happens. Somebody asks you a question. What I recommend that you do is you take a screenshot of that question. Place it right above the training video or training piece, and then simply answer the question. And then right below that, put some sort of WordPress comments area below each of the videos or training content pieces so that people can respond and ask questions, interact, and things like that. Now, in the customer's mind, they will feel like, wow, they listen to us and they care. You know, they're reminded that you're answering questions that you actually receive. Now, you can also create training if you want that you feel like would help. But this is what I found works really, really well. And then, of course, email your list consistently. Point them back to this area. Like I talked about earlier, as an ongoing bonus, if you do this, you get people back to your site. They're used to and they're conditioned to come back to your site for training. And I'll show you how to set all this up in video number 6. That brings us to support. Support is different than the training area. The training area I see as a way to get people to interact and constantly grow. Support is simply kind of like a help desk. But you always have to have support pages. What I found over the years is that if you don't, and it's hard for people to reach you, that actually ends up in a refund. So always have a support area where you can easily be reached. Otherwise, they are going to do a refund. Refunds arise usually when support is unavailable, or people feel like that you are hard to reach and they have to go through many different routes to get to you, because that's just how a lot of business owners operate. So you have to stand out and you have to find a way around that. Now, in support, I've been using a help desk software lately called Freshdesk. And if you go to freshdesk.com, it's a great support software. Also, they have a knowledge base that you can use and point people to so that people feel like, wow, okay, you're actually answering people's questions. Now, you can also do this through your social network, which you can set up along as a part of your community. And other people can help answer those questions as well. The more interaction that you can create between the customers, the better. And that brings us to social networking. Now, the advantage here is that people can talk. They can interact with each other even if you're not there, and they can help each other as well. So that's a plus. People feel like they're taking ownership and answering other people's questions. They feel good about it, and vice versa. Now, the disadvantage, of course, is that it can take a good chunk of time out of your schedule. But like I said, if you can see past that and see it as you're investing in lives, you're investing in people's lives, you're helping them, then it's actually going to come back a lot stronger, and you're going to have a community that trusts you. Now, if you don't have a lot of time, let me give you some examples. What you can do is you can have entry-level drip feed training. So for those of people that come in, let's say the majority of people that come in and don't really upgrade, you can give them the drip feed training. And I'll show you how to do drip feed training and all that in video number 6. Now, if you want, let's say, for example, social networking where you can really invest in people's lives, you can have a coaching level where you could have a one-time offer. People that take that, you can take that and run with it by doing a social networking site. You could do Skype, you could do Google Hangouts, you could do all sorts of things. And I'll show you how to set up a social network that integrates into WordPress in video number 7. So action time. Let's take what I taught you and set up the basic members area shell or structure. Okay, so first things first, I'm in my WordPress dashboard, and I'm not really covering about WordPress security or anything like that. So my presumption is that you're able to set up your WordPress security and everything like that. But in terms of the members area pages, that's what I'll be focusing on. So if we go to pages, we can click on all pages, and we can just start adding the pages. Don't worry about the design or anything like that. You can change that later. But we have the welcome page, which is normally the home page. So I'm going to simply add home. And as a template, I'm just going to write down stuff like, okay, I'm going to put a video here. And we're going to say, welcome to product X. Please watch this welcome video to you. So we're going to put the video right underneath that text. And if you don't want to do a video, that's fine. I'd highly recommend that you do one if that's possible, or outsource it if possible. But if you don't, you can put text. So please watch this welcome video to you so you know how to effectively use the site to your advantage. And right below that, we want to have some sort of welcome comment. So we'll say something like, please introduce yourself down below. I've started it. And of course, you can introduce yourself at the first comment below. So we're just going to include this as it is. We can always come back to it later, but this way I know exactly what it's going to look like. And what I can do now is simply click on publish. And then of course the next thing we'll need to do is add the product pages. So let's say, for example, that I have a video course that has 5 different parts right now. So I'm going to say video, we'll just say section. We'll make sections. We'll do section 1. title 1. And then in this area, we're going to want to put the products that go under section 1. And let's say we have videos. We've got video 1, video 2. And if I were you, I wouldn't put too many videos on one page if you want people to maybe ask questions about that particular video. Now, it's up to you. Do your due diligence. But if it's a video that's like, okay, really small video that goes on top of each other and it's a video course, and you know a lot of people won't ask questions, then I would put maybe a couple videos in there. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to generate interaction. The more interaction you can generate, the better. And that's just something that mainly you would probably know, not necessarily me. But you can do videos, you can do ebook, PDF, reports. And our goal is to put some sort of comment section right down below each of these sections. So in the case of time, I'm just going to do 2 different sections. And we'll do video 1 or video, actually, by now it's video 3, 4. So video 4, video 5. And we'll maybe put some checklists or something. So once you're done with the product pages, we can add a bonus page. So we could type bonuses, or we could call bonus training. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. So bonus page. And I'm just going to put a placeholder for now. And then the next thing is going to be the training center. So we can say weekly training, monthly training, depending on how frequently you update it. So we'll do something like weekly training, because I really want to grow the community. So we got weekly training, click on publish. And then of course we got the support section. If you need help, please, let's see, if you have a personal question, please contact me here. But remember, if your goal is interaction, then I would try to point them back to the social networking sites. And I'll say, but if you have a general, if you have a question that could help other people, feel free to ask it at our social network here. That way you drive people back into your members area. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm trying to drive people back to the members area in the social network. So we're going to click on update, and last but not least, we're going to create a social networking page. We'll say something like community, and we'll just add the so these are just placeholders, just tell me later on what I need to do. So I'm going to publish that, and I'm going to populate it later down the road when I come back. And that's it for now. But what I do now is I am going to go to appearance and themes, because right now it looks like this. And I think I'm going to install a theme. And once that's done, I'm going to activate it. and refresh the page. And there we go. Now I'm going to go back to my menus section because I'm going to add a new menu. We're going to call it menu 1. Create a new menu. And then I'm going to simply go to the pages. We'll select all. We want everything except for the sample page that comes with WordPress. Okay, good. So I am going to put the Access product. We're going to do section 1 and section 2. We got the bonuses, and I'm going to put community somewhere in the beginning because I want to emphasize community. And then I'm going to click on Save Menu, and we're going to go to the theme locations and choose menu 1 and click on Save. And if we go back here, refresh the page, we can see that we got Home, Community, Access, Product, Section 1 and 2, Bonus, and Support. Now I want to get rid of all these widget items, so I'm going to go to the widget section. I'm going to remove all of these because I want it pretty nice and clean. So I'm going to refresh the page. We see this Hello World post is still here, so I'm going to go to Post and I'm going to delete that post. So we're going to refresh the page and we're good to go. So now we can begin to populate the members area with the information.